What's up YouTube, Charlie here. Today I'm going to bring you the first in a series of 3 videos about what to do when you first start going to the gym. So today I'm going to talk about probably the most important thing, and that's training. Now you have to train correctly, otherwise you're not going to see any benefit, no matter how well you eat or anything. Without training the correct way and without training hard, you're never going to see the results you want. There's no half measures. If you want to be fit and you want to get in the shape that you want, then you have to be really 100% dedicated to it. Now when you first start going to the gym, you're going to be thinking, what do I do today? What muscles should I do? And that's why I suggest that you do a split. And now a split is simply put, the days of the week that you train and what body parts you train on them. So if you're doing a 5-day split, then you might do Monday you might do shoulders, Tuesday you do chest, Wednesday legs, Thursday back, and Friday you might do calves, abs, that kind of thing. So yeah, 3 to a 5-day split in my opinion is the best. A lot of people like doing 5-day splits. I personally do a 3-day split, which means I do the same muscle groups twice in a week, so I'll repeat that 2 times. So my personal split is a 3-day split, and I break that up into doing a pull day, a push day, and leg day. So on pull day, I do my chest, my shoulders, and my triceps. And I'll often put some abs in there as well because it's just a good day to do it. And the second day would be pull day. So pull is obviously back, and you're doing biceps with that as well. And then leg day is relatively self-explanatory. You just smash the living crap out of your legs and also your calves. Okay, now there's 2 different types of exercise. You have compound moves and isolation moves. Now compound moves are where you're doing one movement that's going to hit multiple muscle groups. So for instance, deadlift is a great compound move. With that, you're hitting your back, you're hitting your legs, you're hitting your shoulders, you're hitting your arms, you're hitting almost everything. The other ones are squats, and you're going to be hitting them on leg day, and also bench press, and you're going to be hitting that on push day. I do those 3 and they fit in perfectly with my split, so I highly recommend you do those 2. Now isolation moves are different obviously. Isolation moves, you're only hitting one muscle, and you're doing it specifically. Like cable crossovers where you're just smashing your chest, because that's the only thing you're hitting. Now with cable crossovers, what's really important is to keep your arms locked at the elbows, so no matter how you move your arm, your elbow's not moving, because if your elbow is pivoting, then you're going to be hitting your triceps. Now obviously doing this movement, you're going to be hitting your triceps a tiny little bit, but not a huge amount if you're doing it correctly. You need to make sure you don't bobble, just stay completely rigid in your core, and then you're going to really smash up your chest. That's one of my favourite exercises personally. So with compound moves, you're going to be wanting to do rep ranges of 5 to 6 reps, and I personally do 5 sets, so quite often I do 5 times 5, because that's a really good way of really hitting the muscle. And I often do those first in the workout, because what that gives me is it warms everything up, plus you really smash everything up to start with, so you're sort of doing 2 things at once. It's really good. And with isolation moves, I'll do a higher rep range, so I'll do 8 to 12. I usually do a lower weight, and I usually do 3 to 4, occasionally 5 sets of those. If I do 5 sets, then the last set will be to failure, just to really burn out the muscle as much as I possibly can. Now you're probably thinking, what's the quickest way for me to put on muscle? And for me, the trick that I find the most effective is the way that I break the rep down into 2 movements. Now, so let me use an example. So if I'm doing shoulder press, you've got the positive part of the movement, you're going up, and then you've got the negative part of the movement when you're coming back down. Now most people will just push up and they're going to try and get the weight from A to B as fast as possible. Now that's powerlifting, that's not bodybuilding. If you want to be building the muscle growth and everything that you want out of it, then you're going to want to go fast up, you want to get the real explosion out, proper explosion out in the positive part of the movement, and the real trick is on the negative part of the movement to go really slow down. Because most of the muscle tearing, which is what builds muscle, most of the muscle tearing occurs on the negative part of the movement. So if you're just letting the weight drop down, then you're not going to be using that, you're not going to be utilizing that. So you're only going to get half of what you want. You're only going to get half the results, not even that maybe.